Could you look a little less like I'm holding you hostage, please? I'm kind of holding him hostage.
I'm
just
being held
a little bit.
Send help.
Blink twice if you need help.
Hello.
Hi! Welcome back to another fun Fairvilla University video. My name is Amber Baxter, and this is my partner,
Brad.
Yay! So we're super excited today because we're going to be talking about communication. We said that together.
We did it.
We're communicating.
Like a team.
Like a team. Yay! One of the biggest things we get asked about a lot is communication in the stores. While I am not in the stores as much anymore, Brad still works at our megastore location. And I feel like that's still a question that you get asked about a lot, or at least it's kind of like a topic that gets brought up a lot, is communication between partners.
I feel like it's on both ends of the spectrum, because either it gets brought up as a request for people to and be enlightened on,
yeah,
or on the opposite end of that spectrum, it's something that's not considered when shopping or talking about problems in the relationship. A lot of people will be like, I want them to care again. And the biggest thing that I tell them is that communication is the sexiest toy in the bedroom.
I mean, that's pretty true. I feel like communication boils down to so many different things. It's not just like when people come into our store. Like, if you can't come in and shop comfortably and communicate effectively, I feel like there's a fundamental breakdown of communication just in general on your day-to-day life. And I can't fault anybody for that. I know that's something that, you and I haven't always been the strongest communicators. I feel like especially in the beginning of our relationship, mostly because we were younger, but also like we're both pretty strong personalities. Anybody that knows us in our personal lives will openly say that we both have very strong personalities. Mm-hmm. So we had kind of talked about like what we wanted to share because, as I mentioned, communication hasn't always been super easy for us. But one thing that we kind of talked about doing early on in our relationship that's really been super helpful for us is what we call the Mayday and the safety system. So kind of similar to like kink and BDSM, how there's like red light, yellow light, green light to tell you like when to go, when to stop, when to slow down. That's kind of how the Mayday and safety system works. Do you want to explain Mayday?
Green lighting is basically, with communication, is different than being in the bedroom because you're not addressing a situation. It's just that open avenue.
Dialogue.
Mayday is sort of the yellow light where we don't have to stop this conversation in its tracks, but I think that we need to dial it down. It's helpful when both parties acknowledge that they're getting heated or that emotion is starting to come to the forefront of the problem, because emotions are important, but if you use them to direct how you feel in a confrontation, progress isn't usually made very quickly. So if one or both parties acknowledge that, you can say Mayday, and it slows down. It's a take a deep breath, don't forget to breathe, let's settle this calmly. Let's pull it back a little bit. And it's helpful in situations where you acknowledge that this will start to escalate quickly.
Yeah, I agree, because Mayday is also so just to go back a little bit, how we would use that is if we're in the middle of a discussion or it's heating up to where an argument is, and one of us has recognized that, either one of us, it doesn't matter who, can call Mayday. So we'll literally stop the conversation and I'll say, or he'll say, hey, Mayday, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. And you don't always have to explain what you're feeling, especially if you're not sure, but that's how we've used it is, for example, if I call Mayday, I'll say, hey, Mayday, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed or I'm feeling a little attacked. Can we just pull this back a little bit so we can, I want to go back to what we're talking about before we move on. Safety is something that we've used for, I would say, a lot longer. Mayday is relatively new because safety was kind of something that we had discussed as a shutdown. It's basically your red light of everything needs to stop. There is no more communication. Safety is when all communication has failed and you're getting to a point where you're going to be hurtful or you're angry and you're shouting, voices are raised, or you're just getting to a place emotionally like you can't take it anymore. I've had enough, I have to stop. And the idea of safety is the same as Mayday. I'll call safety or he'll call safety to be like, I need to stop. Everybody goes their separate ways. and the communication will 100% stop. There's no more comments, there's no sighing, there's no eye rolling. So even like physical communication, like I said, the eye rolling, it's just, we recognize now this is taken too far for the person who called Mayday, and we're going to stop. Just, it's your full stop. No more.
And it's not so much to say that this conversation is over.
Correct.
It just means that this has gotten out of hand. Walk away for 5 minutes, go to the bathroom, wash your face off, eat a snack.
Yeah,
check your phone, and then when your blood pressure is leveled, then come back into this and mutually agree that it's time to continue the discussion, but in a calmer, more peaceful manner.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the time when we get to, or, you know, when a lot of people get to the point where safety needs to be called, you've lost sight of the original problem. It's gotten to a place of personal attack. Yeah, anger and aggression, or long hurt feelings that haven't totally been worked through. And that's, you know, that's something that happens with all couples at some point. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. Mm-hmm. We've been together close, you know, over 10 years now.
Yeah. You
so
forgot for a second.
I did. I'm sorry. I had to think about that. I almost said 2 years.
Safety.
So, yeah, I mean, it's something that you just work on it every day. It's not something that I feel like we always get right. Like I said, Mayday is something new that we just added relatively recently. I would say in the last year or so, we started using Mayday.
Safety felt too harsh for some situations.
Yeah.
Like if someone's just nagging the other one because they're annoyed.
I tend to nag. I know I do.
And that becomes a Mayday situation where you're like, Mayday, we're starting to pick at each other. Let's address the problem calmly.
Yeah. Safety
is screaming at each other, starting to use profanity, starting to get physically angry, like shaking or red in the face.
Or for me, like, it's also anxiety. I get to a point where I just can't communicate anymore because my anxiety has taken over. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways to use it. This is just something that's worked for us that we wanted to share. Obviously, you can kind of take that same idea and run with it. I think the whole point of it is having safe words doesn't just have to be for the bedroom. It's not just a kinky tie-me-up situation. You can have safe words when it comes to communication and just really, like, teach yourselves. I feel like it was almost training wheels in a way, because after a while we had to use it less and less because we started to recognize those patterns that got us to where we were using Mayday or safety.
Yeah.
It really taught us how to be better communicators.
We don't use it as much anymore since we've implemented it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's done a really good job. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I felt like it was a fun conversation. I hope you guys got something out of it as well. This was just our little fun way of sharing. So, you know, if you did find anything from it or you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and, you know, just say hello down there too. That's always fun.